So I was trying to do a video on my power director to show you guys a few things, but my power director screen recorder is not working. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I was going to talk it through. It's the only thing I could do left. Basically, I remember a story back in 2012. I was going to a Dollar General and I heard an older generation speak about the laziness of the younger generations, right? How the younger generations can't afford nothing. Why do people need help with food and housing? And he said that you should go door to door asking to clean somebody's gutters. Now, keep in mind, minimum wage hasn't gone up since 2009. It's only $7.25. When I worked, it was like $4.85 or something, somewhere around there. I used to say, hey, 1 hour is one Whopper meal. But now you have to work 2 hours for that one Whopper meal. Some places I heard it's even over $10, close to 15 for a sandwich meal at some of these fast food places. And it's ridiculous. So, even though minimum wage hasn't gone up since 2009, there's been a 54% increase in inflation since then. So the price of eggs back then was about $1.39 on that, but now it's like $3.59 today. And I saw a video of a dozen eggs. It was almost $1 an egg in some places now. And that's just crazy. I can't imagine paying $1 an egg when you used to get the same amount for one egg you did for a dozen. And a lot of it is MAGA stupidity, because they'll say they have to raise the price of eggs because they have nobody helping working on a farm no more. It's costing more. They don't have nobody tend to the chickens, blah, 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 blah. So MAGA votes stupidity in to end everybody's food stamps, to end everybody's job assistance, but also to raise the food for everybody. So then you can read about how the middle class in America is shrinking. And people say, well, why don't you get a government job? They're pretty secure. Well, it's because people from South Africa could come to America and lay off 300,000 Americans. Elon Musk did it. And if you look, it was close to 300,000. So the rich get richer, right? Because Elon Musk makes a lot of money, because with a smaller government, less restrictions, you can make more money. Donald Trump's making a lot of money in office. A lot of it's inside trading. And his friends on the weekends for the oil. So he'll come out and say he's going to close the Strait of Iran. He's going to do this. He's going to do this with this. Well, 15 minutes before then, in the stock market, you'll see an influx of trading. People making billions because he's letting all his friends know. There's a lot of inside trading going on. And it shouldn't be that way. So these billionaires never seem to have enough money. Meanwhile, the minimum wage hasn't gone up. People are being called lazy. I was trying to show a video earlier of they're making robots now that could do construction. So a lot of you are like, well, why don't you get a trade job? Why don't you become an electrician? Why don't you become a plumber? Well, first of all, genius, the last person that called you, who was it? It was middle class. It was a company. Those companies are laying off. The middle class is shrinking. They say by 2035, there might not even be a middle class in America no more because of the amount of greed. Now, before you all say, well, thank you, MAGA, a lot of it's the blue people too, the Democrats, because you don't know how to run a candidate. You can't run Hillary. You can't say, vote for me because I'm a woman. You can't talk about LGBTQ all the time only. You have to talk about problems that affect everybody. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to talk bad about the LGBTQ. But those are the least important things going on in America right now. People are struggling. You have to focus on real policy, bringing money back to the American people. And if you can't talk about how you're going to do that, well, people like Trump go into office because people rather believe a lie coming from him than maybe a half-truth coming from somebody else. You can't run a woman, just say, vote for me because I'm a woman. That kind of stupid's got to stop. So Democrat voters are just as responsible for MAGA as MAGA voters are. Might not like to hear it, but too bad. That's another problem in America. People don't like to be told no. So, back in my day, I hear a lot of older people say that. But when we did Cub Scouts, when we did sports, we used to go around knocking at people's doors. Say, hey, got $1 for a candy bar here. Can you help support our program? A lot of neighbors did. Matter of fact, for Cub Scouts, we had to go around a track 4 times. And the more miles we did, the more people would pledge. A lot of my neighbors did. I made hundreds of dollars back then from my Cub Scouts. And now they'll say, the older generation will say, why don't kids go outside and play now? Why don't they go outside and play? They're on their tablet too much. They're on their internet too much. Well, it's because when they go outside and play, the same people I said that yelled at them. Go back inside. You're making too much noise. Why are you playing basketball? Why are you skateboarding? It's always the same people snatching people's fishing poles. It's always the same people going after the kids that sit there and say, well, kids don't do nothing but play inside all day. Well, that's your own fault for doing that. You know, my stepdad, abusive as he was, ignorant as he was smart on some stuff, but he's completely dumb on others. See, in his day, you didn't have to graduate high school. You could walk into a factory, work there your whole entire life and retire and have a home and have a family. A wife didn't even have to work, really. You could do all that. That same factory now doesn't exist. They went out of business. Great Lakes Steel. They totally gone. Out of business. He doesn't understand it. My time, I got mad at him when I first got out of the Army. He says, why can't you go in the factory and make all these kinds of money like I did? I said, okay. You had internet. As you show me in a computer one place hiring right now in this area that I can get a job at and afford a home and do everything that you do. Show me. He couldn't find one. He says, well, this place is paying too low. I mean, people just, well, maybe you have to work there for a while to get money more. It doesn't work that way in factories no more. Sometimes you get promoted to manager, you get paid the same. There's no more bonuses for managers, right? How many years you got to wait to do that? So his ignorance was, I said, prove it. I literally put him on a table. I said, here's the internet. We had the paper delivered. He had the paper delivered that Sunday. I said, show me. Show me. I was already working at a factory making good money at the time, but it wasn't good enough for him. My truck was never big enough for him. His mentality doesn't apply for people today. Because if you go door-to-door sales, like it happened in Florida not too long ago, where a guy got shot at, just going door-to-door sales. But the same people said, well, I used to go door-to-door and I knock up people's doors and clean gutter. You can't do it no more. That kind of stupidity, you can't do like you did back in the day. The older generation is actually the problem that's going on with America right now, and the younger generation at the same time. It's yin and yang. Can't have one without the other. So now Donald Trump wants to get rid of Medicaid. He's on record for wanting it. He doesn't want to pay for any of that because he doesn't think his taxpayer money for making billions, which he doesn't pay any taxes anyway, should go helping anybody. Hey, no, not right now. Not right now. Calm down. Be a good boy. And that's the flat out truth. So other than stock market insider trading that's currently going on, MAGA is not being responsible for the votes going after Donald Trump. You got Fox News that don't report about any. My dang dogs. Things are getting out of hand in America. Billionaires don't seem to make enough. You know, the company lays off 1,000 people. The CEO gets millions of dollars in bonuses, and there's no legislation on that. Now you got Kennedy, healthcare guy, if you want to call him that, wants to give billions to healthcare, insurance companies, billions of your dollars that they say they can't afford Medicare and stuff like that. They're wasting your taxpayer dollars left and right, but there's not enough anger in America about this right now. Nowhere near enough. You guys are so complacent in America, so stupid about it, left and right, you wouldn't even know what to do about it anyway if you wanted to. Some of you think, oh, just go out and protest. You think they care if you went out and protest? Do you? Because next ballot, you're going to vote the same people in. Look at Green, Mayor, whatever her name, blah, 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 Green, right? Now she's against Trump because she started losing money in her business before she was praising Trump. But her voters always wanted her in because they're ignorant. They said, we're going to miss her and stuff like that. We're going to miss these Jewish space lasers. How ignorant, how stupid, and how low IQ is the people in her district that keep wanting to vote her in? Even though she's left now. The point is they still miss her because they're ignorant. We have that kind of stupid people in America right now that want to keep voting people like her in, but are mad about not being able to put more money in their pockets, but billionaires seem to be making more. And whose fault is it? It's yours, America. It's yours because you won't take accountability. You won't do anything about it. You won't do a damn thing about it other than, I just might go out and protest. They don't give a damn about you protesting. They don't. They'll lock you up, they'll shoot at you. ICE agents are doing it all the time. They don't care about your damn rights anymore. They got a president that protects them. Boo-hoo about your rights. That's what they're going to say. They don't care. Because you're going to keep voting the same people in over and over again. In next election, they're going to say, Democrats will probably run another woman. They're going to say, hey, vote for me because I'm a woman again. And people are like, nah. People like Trump are going to get voted back in, even though it's illegal for him to do a third term. People are talking about Obama should run for a third term. The point is, until we can get better candidates that are there for the people, that don't take money from corporations, that are hard on corporations, that prevent CEOs from getting bonuses for layoffs, policies to prevent the layoffs and finding companies for those layoffs, to help bring Medicaid back and food stamps for people that actually need it, especially in between jobs if you lose it, or especially for people that are disabled. Until we could do these things, nothing's going to change in America because you don't want to change, because you won't admit it's your fault. And you might not like what I'm having to say, but that's the problem with all generations right now. They don't want to hear it because they don't want to look inside themselves. That's the problem in America.